And we are live, ladies and gentlemen, gamers of all types, from PlayStation to Xbox to PC, tablets, phones, whatever you are. If you're listening, welcome back. This is part two of the E3 hype 2017. And today's topic is going to be all about Sony. If you missed it last week, check out, episode 31, part one. We talked about Nintendo and Microsoft. We had Blandrew repping Nintendo, and we had Ran Outdoor. Great conversation, crumb-free discussions. That's how we do on this channel. But today, it's all about that PlayStation, baby. It's all about that PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? It's all about that Rumbus, PlayStation 4. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I got a special guest, my man. You know what I'm saying? We got a great special guest, my man, JayBari, the Superman of the PlayStation Nation. You see him with this, the chest is sticking out. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
the trumpets are glowing. My man, what's going on, Jay?
Yo, what's good, YouTube? What's up, PlayStation Nation? It's your boy JayBari from whatsupplaystation.com, and I am here with my man Porter Rock. I see Fonzarelli in here, and my man Craig is in the building, man. Yo, it's a pleasure. Definitely appreciate the invite. And yeah, man, we're gonna be talking about PlayStation, man. So super hyped for this E3, especially the PlayStation conference. I know everybody is hyped for other conferences, but I think PlayStation conference will, they will take it home this year again. I'm sorry.
Man, you already starting. All right, man. And we're going to go into the cast. All right. We're going to start out with my boy, Jay Fonzarelli. What is going on? How you doing, brother? Oh, wait. Oh, no. Yeah, you could do it. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm doing good, man. I'm just getting over a sickness. Finally getting my voice back. But yeah, I'm here. 60 frames, no lag. Let's do it.
That's awesome. I'm glad you're recovering. And the kids, they fully recovered, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's good to hear. That's excellent, man. That's good stuff. That got ready for that E3. Everybody gotta be healthy for that E3. It's a big deal. All right, and then of course we got top flight security of the world, Craig. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, guys? What's happening, YouTube? Craig Harris, Craig's Corner, ready to get it on. And Porter Rock, your podcast yesterday, fire. I loved it. Keep doing it.
Oh, thank you. I do it for the subscribers. You know what I'm saying? It's for the subscribers. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be real.
Yeah, I know.
But I appreciate it. Yeah. My man all day, he's on a flight. He's on the way to pick up, see his kids and stuff like that. So, my man all day, have a safe flight. He's in the chat box. So he's here with us in spirit. I was also supposed to have Nicodemus. He's also, taking care of his family. I fully believe family first. That's why we do. Shit, I would have shut down this podcast if it was for my family. And, we all family men. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. But, hey, Nicodemus, shout out to you. He's in the chat box, though. And all day, you in the chat box, too. You know what I'm saying? Take care, and especially all day, have a safe flight. But, of course, it's time to talk about that E3 blowout. So, talk about the E3 2017, right? So, let me start off. Let me get in this hype mode, all right? Let me tell you what I'm hype about, all right? So, Sony's been, I've traditionally been telling people, that Sony supports their consoles to the last drop. All right. As you can see, and just to take it back, go back to 2007. The PlayStation 3 was already out, but Sony releases God of War 2 on the PlayStation 2. Right. And then they do it again with the PlayStation 3 releasing The Last of Us the same year they launched PlayStation 4. So Sony fully believes in supporting the platform, to the last drop. The negative part about that is they get a late start supporting the next platform when it comes out. They trickle, they get a lot of titles, they do this and that, they do okay. But once that 3-year window is up, that's when they start punching it. That's when Mike Tyson comes out and start throwing blows. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I have a feeling they're going to keep on doing it. And it started last year. That E3 last year was insane. You know what I'm saying? Banger after banger after banger. You know what I'm saying? Just games and just big projects and new IPs. And I think Sony's going to do it again. I think Sony's going to show the stuff that we already know about. You know what I'm saying? So I'm predicting some titles going to have release dates. I think God of War is going to have a release date of spring 2018. I think Spider-Man, I know Gran Turismo is going to come out this year. I have a feeling it's coming out this year. We already know about Uncharted Lost Legacy. I have a feeling that maybe Spider-Man come out this year. Maybe sometime in August to ride the hype of the movie. You know what I'm saying? That's coming out in July. You know, kind of like what EA did with Battlefront and Star Wars Force Awakens. Sony might do that. That momentum of Spider-Man FIFA in the summer, Sony will ride that wave. You know what I'm saying? So we might see Spider-Man this year. You know what I'm saying? And then we might see some release dates next year for like Days Gone and Detroit Being Human. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. But main thing is, I have a feeling Sony got some games on their sleeves. You know, recently Sean Layden made a quote saying that there's not going to be much talking, and there's going to be more about showing games. So obviously you're going to see a lot of third party, but I have a feeling Sony's going to fucking blow it up with new IPs. You know what I'm saying? The confidence they have, they even talked about Nintendo. They're talking about Xbox Scorpio. They even said that they're not even worried about Microsoft strategy or Scorpio. These guys have confidence, and they're going to blow it up on E3. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Somebody take the mic away from me because I'll be talking all day. Take the mic. Somebody say.
I think Sony's going to come out with some games this year. I think God of War will come out this year, and it'll rival the Scorpio. They're going to put it out by November. I think Days Gone is also going to be out probably in September. And of course, we've got Spider-Man. Spider-Man will probably come out around August. I could see that. So those 3 games alone towards the end of the year are just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. And
this guy, I want to give this man a hand clap, man. You know what I mean? Fonz, you're the man right now. Go ahead, continue.
No. Hey, that's pretty much all I got for this year. I think that Sony's going to come out with those 3 games for sure. This year, you hear a lot of naysayers online saying, no, they wouldn't bring God of War out. And it's usually the fanboys on the other side that are saying that, but it's because they're scared of that. They don't want God of War out in November. They don't want it. And I tell you what, is good as God of War looks, though, I'm a bit skeptical, though, because of the changes they're making to the way the game, the camera angle and everything. The way the game is, the storyline, I've got to see this God of War. I've got to see more of it before I get too hyped.
You know, and your skepticism is warranted. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are nervous.
With change, that's what happens.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people get nervous with big change. But we have to look at one thing. The last main God of War that came out on console was God of War Ascension. And I think when people play that, it was a good game. But there was a lot of negativity. Some people were getting bored of it. You know, some people, it didn't attract as much people as like God of War 3 did. So I think Sony may see the fact that the formula might be getting stale and they have to do something to revive it. You know what I'm saying? It could potentially be, they could see it like this franchise might be, because we can't keep doing the same thing. The formula might get old. I mean, look at Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden 1 was huge, you know what I'm saying? Then Ninja Gaiden 2, but then they did 3 and then they're like, okay, it might be a time where the formula gets old and they want to refresh the franchise. And I'll say this, if there's anybody that could do it, it would be the Sony developers that could take a franchise and make it. I have faith in it. I mean, look at Killzone. I mean, look what Guerrilla did. Guerrilla all they did was first person shooters their whole time, Shell Shock and the Killzone. Now they went from that to doing a completely different game, a third person action RPG. And it was amazing. So I understand the warranted, but I think they have to take that risk. I don't think they could come out with another, isometrical, the way classic God of Wars are. I don't think that would have been successful. I know some people would have talked about it, but I think it would have been like, it's the same thing or with prettier graphics.
And also, you gotta remember with God of War, they said that they going for like a deep narrative with the story. Like God of War always had a story, but nobody really ever considered it something deep. And having fixed like camera angles like the traditional God of War, I don't really think you can really convey how you want to have that deep narrative, especially like the interaction with your son. You won't really get this, you won't really feel immersed doing stuff like that if it's just a fixed camera angle, high up that you can't control, you know what I mean? So having this new perspective on the game, it just gives you more immersion and probably get into more of the story with God of War instead of just waiting for every set piece of enemies to come your way in this camera angle that they give you.
I can agree with that. And as far as the compelling storyline and everything, if it's one thing that Sony does right, it's the compelling story. I'm sorry, but the single player experiences between the Xbox and Sony, I give it to Sony hands down all the time because they just bring me into these single player experiences. I don't know about you guys on the panel, but I get sucked in. I get immersed into these single player games on the Sony side. So I think that, if
absolutely
God of War, if it does produce a great, compelling story, it's over. It's over. I mean, that game is going to be straight fire if they can bring a good story along with it. Man, I know so many people are hyped up over God of War. It's a great franchise. It's a great series. But like I said, with all these changes and everything, I'm still a bit skeptical. But if there's one thing Sony can do, it's bring us a compelling story. So we'll see what we get.
You also got to think, because God of War, he's a very visceral character. He loves to destroy and rip people apart. But now at this camera angle, you can actually, I think they'll be able to improve that aspect of him, like how he defeats the enemies and rip them apart, attacking and engaging battles. It could be very up close. Kind of think of like The Last of Us, how it was pretty, gritty and stuff. They could take it to a whole new level with God of War and stuff like that. Especially like, imagine being that close, ripping whatever monster's eye right out the socket and stuff like that.
I think most of my skepticism lies within the relationship between him and a son, essentially, his boy. I've got to see that dynamic because I really don't know how that plays out in the world of Kratos. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's this big badass, and here he is with a son. Like, okay, like, when did that happen? When did he get tied down? What woman locked him up? So we got to find out what's going on because Kratos wasn't that guy. So.
Yeah, but remember, he was banging every chick for health in the game, so he probably one got him. Like, gotcha, bitch.
Yep. Somebody find out what's going on there, So, Craig, what do you got to say, man? What's up?
Oh yeah, what's happening? I'm still waking up. Well, it was a rough day at work, but I think what really got me enticed about the Sony press conference is when they literally said we're going to talk for like a minute and a half, and that's you can literally their conference may start and you may not see anybody from what I'm hearing for the first 10 minutes. They're just going to start rolling out games, maybe come out, say, hi, yeah, we're all here today. Enjoy E3. But, I'm looking forward to seeing Spider-Man gameplay. I think Sony, unfortunately, they're kind of, what's that old song by Pink, Don't Let Me Get Me? PSX was so good last year. I have said before, I think that could be almost as good as their E3 this year. But, I hope, I'm hoping to see more gameplay. I want to see the gameplay of a Spider-Man. We saw some Days Gone, and that game looked pretty good then, and that was like an alpha. So let's see where they're at with that game. I'm interested in it. And also, I'm excited they're going to have Elite Dangerous out there on the floor for the PlayStation. That's coming out in 3 weeks. So let's see what that's going to come with. I'm excited about that as well.
Listen, you know what I'm very excited for, or what is getting me very excited? The fact that, check this out, the fact that we are right now getting release dates and announcements for games before E3. Hellblade got announced with its release date.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy Dissidia got announced. And I'm a huge Final Fantasy fanboy, and I love Dissidia on a PSP. I'm crazy hyped right now. You don't understand how hyped I am. You know what I mean? It's just a constant flow. Then the fact that there's game releases within the weeks of E3. You know what I mean? It's not like it's a all quiet in the Western Front and we gotta wait for everything E3 to get these announcements. There's announcements going on right now. You know what I mean? So that's having that stuff applied to you, and then the E3 conference where Sean Layden is coming out saying that it's not going to be such as a press conference, but more of a software showcase. That's a movie. That's a movie.
That is what I want to hear. I want to hear a software showcase. I want to see these games. Hellblade does look fantastic. Of course, Heavenly Sword.
Price. What about that price, Fonz? You think about that?
Hey,
amazing.
You can't complain.
The price for what?
Hellblade.
How much is it?
$30. Already pre-ordered, and you get a nice little dynamic theme.
$30.
I like reading the chat often when we're doing these podcasts, and I notice a lot of people are saying, "Well, God of War needs change and everything."
Did you say hold on, quick. $30.
Yeah, that's
Hellblade. Okay, is that shit available for pre-order now? Because I'm about to log on right now.
Yep, it's all you can pre-order right now in the store.
Oh shit!
But yes, so there's people saying that God of War needs change and stuff. If it was the same formula, it would be tired after 6 years. And I understand that, but it depends on what type of change they implement. Just because they change it doesn't mean that the change they do implement is going to be a great change. And that is what has me skeptical, guys. It's not about, I think, oh, God of War, just because they change it, it's going to suck. No, I'm skeptical on this change that they are doing, both with the camera angle and the story. So we just got to see what it's like, and of course, and I'm not bad mouthing it in any way. So I don't want people to get it twisted out there and, in the chat there, because I just see a bunch of people saying, no, it needs to be changed, blah, blah, blah. But we have to see the change that's actually implemented in the game to really, well, and we won't know until it gets closer. So we'll find out.
Yeah, you were talking about, Fonz, about the single player. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Porter Rock. I think it's what they're able to do in these single player games is have a moment at some point in the game where you have to have a visceral connection as a gamer and to invest in these characters at some point. Like for me, Horizon Zero Dawn, I could not really invest into that Aloy. I mean, even when she was a little girl, until she fell in the cave and she saw that throwback to that birthday party. Just the emotion that went into that scene. And people were like, well, it's not very well acted. I'm like, well, that scene was pretty visceral. But yeah, I do agree with you on the single player aspect of it. I'm sorry, Porter Rock. Go ahead, brother.
No problem. Hey, no need to apologize. I'm just saying, Jay. I do, like I said, it's a warranted concern because you're talking about dynamic shift that's just more than a camera angle. Like you said, the relationship, how Kratos gonna act, how does that bring to the gameplay, how does that mesh with the story? Because the original God of War, he killed his family because he was tricked by the gods, and that shit drove him nuts, which led him to just want to destroy everything. Yeah, so that's what we were used to. We were used to a dude that wanted to burn the world down. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So now how does this play into the world of Kratos? You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. And then also the mythology changed. It's Norse now. So how did that, is this a complete a complete reboot, or is there some type of tie-in to the old world and stuff like that? Like, how does this mesh and work and stuff like that?
Yeah, because right. God of War, you always was worrying about just one person. Yeah. The son is going to have a huge aspect when it comes to the gameplay as well. So it's definitely a change that I can see people being skeptical about. But I do think it probably be a nice turn of events, nice little change for the series. Hopefully, it don't stray away too far from what God of War is about, the brutal kills and the epic, boss fights and stuff like that. But adding that story element, to me, can only just make it so much more of a better game that was already existed. So
yeah. So the game, like I read this article on particular on how the type of characters that they can meet up in God of War based on Norse mythology. And I know more people are more familiar with Greek mythology, Zeus, what I'm saying, Ares and all that stuff, God of War, all that stuff. But there's potential, because people don't realize, it's not just Marvel. I mean, Norse mythology does have Loki. They got Thor. They got Odin. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
They got some crazy dudes. So I was reading this article, and they mentioned all these crazy gods and shit like that. And I was like, holy shit. Imagine Thor fucking crashing down and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Or Odin and fucking Loki and the Frost Giants and the fucking Dark Elves. All that Norse mythology shit that's up in that crazy thing. You know what I'm saying? So we could see some crazy shit in this game that'll totally trip us out and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Possible, yeah. Could be some kind of sharing arrangement with Marvel. We'll have to wait and see. I do agree with you. I'm excited, for the surprises. And like Fonz was saying, it's kind of like it's a celebration of the games. Yeah. And they'll throw in some different things every now and then. Maybe how you used to have the those channels on back in the day for 20, to play certain music. They just come out and say such and such channel. Thanks for listening. That's what I expect Sony to do. They'll walk out on stage and wave and say, okay, guys, what's up? Here's your next game. And I would love to see if they want to do the ultimate troll. since we got on a little PlayStation fanboy hats here a little bit tonight, they need to march Cliffy B out there to announce his game. If you want to just the ultimate troll at Microsoft, because he is pretty much responsible, for where Microsoft is with this series of games over there. So that would be fun to see as a troll,
And to piggyback off of what you were saying, Porter Rock, the Norse mythology is huge, and it's probably the right way to go, because if I'm not correct here, somebody can correct me, but I think there's over like 50 gods and goddesses within that world. So it makes a lot of sense to go this route. So we're not rehashing some old gods and goddesses from the original God of War series. So going the Norse route makes some sense, in that respect. So I think they're doing the right thing here. It's just how this all plays out within the world of Kratos. I've got to see.
Yeah.
And you got to think about it. When God of War first came out, I remember when it first came out and stuff, and they introduced, we kind of knew about Norse mythology, but it wasn't really that big in gaming and stuff like that. I mean, maybe you could look back. I can't, to be honest, I know I play games, maybe Rygar. I'm not sure. I can't think of big, heavy mythology.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
I know, but there wasn't not a lot of games, it wasn't a thing. But when God of War came out, it made it a thing. It made it into like, oh shit, we're about to fuck up Hercules. And you know what I'm saying? So it brought it out. Could God of War potentially do that with this new reboot, where now Norse mythology, is like a thing now, where everybody's like, oh shit, fucking Kratos is gonna rip apart Thor's neck with his own hammer or whatever stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or he's gonna take out fucking Odin's other eye socket or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Could this reboot do for Norse mythology what God of War did for Greek mythology in a sense? What do you guys think?
I don't think it's gonna focus too much on actually killing gods. This one, maybe probably like the second one to come out, but I think this one is just going to be focused more on the father and son relationship and that journey going through. Obviously there's probably something that's going to happen where Kratos is going to be fighting whatever the set, like kind of demon or whatever hell type of aspect, enemies from there, from Norse mythology. But I don't think it's going to be focused too much on killing Thor or anything like that yet. We'll see. Probably at the end, somebody might die and he's got to get his revenge. I don't know, but I don't think he's gonna focus on that yet.
Who knows? It will be interesting. You think he'll be at peace with the gods or some shit like that?
I don't think he's gonna be like at peace with the gods per se, but I don't think he's gonna really focus on just killing them off yet.
Okay, not yet.
They setting up that story.
3 sequels.
Yeah, like it's probably the second one is gonna be more of like, all right, we're gonna start killing some people or killing some gods. But we'll see.
All right, so let's talk about the next game. Let's talk about Spider-Man real quick. All right, so Insomniac, we got a big surprise last E3 with from Spider-Man, and I don't know if you guys tracked or you've been paying attention since then on the YouTube channel when they showed YouTube has the first when they had the E3 trailer. That thing at the time, last time I checked, it had like 8,000 comments, and like most of it was just people like they couldn't believe that it wasn't coming to PC or Xbox. And you got you got fanboys or enthusiasts or people with preference for consoles, but some of those people have a bigger preference for Spider-Man. They're bigger comic book guys than they are console gamers. You know what I'm saying? So there's guys who are like, yo, I like Xbox, but nah, I'm getting me a PlayStation because they're like a big fan, And they're like, I remember I read one comment is like, the moment you prayed for an actual good Spider-Man and it's not on your console. I was like, oh shit, these guys or whatever. But what Insomniac presented was like, it looked like a masterpiece. I mean, it was like looking at a good Spider-Man movie. It was like, this is the Spider-Man we've been waiting for decades. Yeah. We're tired. We're tired of these low budget fucking developers. We don't even know who they are. Pretty much Activision just shitting on the IP. You know what I'm saying? And Insomniac came out and tweeted. I mean, not even tweeted. They had an article saying that this is the biggest production they have ever done in their company. So this is the biggest game they ever developed in terms of backing and whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So what are you expecting from E3 in terms of, gameplay or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Give me your opinions for Spider-Man and how big this is going to be for E3.
Oh, well, Spider-Man is my most anticipated game this E3. Like I'm a huge Spider-Man nut. Like You know, the council, you know, they can attest. We get in the party chats and we go in. I go in on Spider-Man, talking about Spider-Man all day, how a reason why I like him and all that stuff. So seeing this reveal last year, yo, I kid you not, I almost cried, man. I had to delete the live stream because of copyright stuff, but yo, I almost cried, man. Like I was catching feelings, man. So this is really good. I do like Insomniac, and Marvel is playing a huge, you know, part. Like they actually getting into the development process as well with this game. So, you know, they're not trying to have like a bad Spider-Man game out there, especially when they're trying to reboot Spider-Man itself when it comes to the movies and stuff like that, even comics. So I do think that this game is going to be huge, and it is going to be a huge sell for PlayStation. You know what I mean? It's going to be a huge sell for PlayStation. So I honestly can't wait to see this game, man. Like, yo, I just need to see some. Yo, you don't understand, man.
I'm with you, Jay. Spider-Man's my favorite comic book character, hands down.
Of course,
the
GOAT.
Everything about the character, the wit, the humor. You know, you got the abilities and stuff. It's a fantastic character, and
he's relatable. He's a relatable superhero because the issues that he go through in life, people have went through. You know what I mean? Like girlfriend or, you know, crush. You know, it depends on which Spider-Man you're talking about, but you know, you get what I'm saying.
And I know that a lot of these games haven't been perfect, these Spider-Man games, but one thing they've always had was an element of fun. I love, you know, shooting webs, swinging through the cities and stuff. That's always been a fun thing. But to add, I mean, I think it was Spider-Man. What was it? There was a Spider-Man game that was really good. I forgot what concept.
I like Web of Shadows. Web of Shadows was good.
That was decent. I think it was another one. But anyway, I think this one looks the best out of all of them so far. And I know we've saw very little, but I think this E3 we're actually going to get. I think they're going to be able to demo it there. I think they're going to be there's going to be a playable demo because I think this game is right around the corner. I think it is going to be coming out this year. A lot of people are saying no. I just don't see it not coming out this year. We've got the movie coming out. It would be an excellent thing to bring in right now. It doesn't make sense to hold it off till next spring. It just doesn't. So I think we're going to get a playable demo.
I definitely think so as well, man. Like, yo, honestly, like, you know, a lot of people might miss a lot of things that I say, but the 3 games you just mentioned, God of War, Spider-Man, and Days Gone, since last year I was telling people that. I was like, guys, you gotta understand how Sony operates, man. Like, yeah, stuff get delayed and stuff, but those games is gonna be out 2017. A lot of people's doubting me. A lot of people like, no.
I believe those 3 will be out this year.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. few more days.
Craig, what do you think about this? You into comics or stuff like that, or do you ever enjoy comic book games?
Yeah, I'm. What really makes me excited for Spider-Man is like you guys were saying about how big that fan base is. People got to really understand that Spider-Man outsells all other comic heroes. Doesn't matter, stuff combined. Okay, all of them combined. It's just a huge fan base. I'm excited if we're going to get to see things like the Iron Spider outfit, if they'll let him have interchangeable outfits. The game itself, the physics of the game, to me, is what's really going to push the pro. You know, because I want to see this thing start getting pushed. But so yeah, I'm excited about it more than anybody. I mean, you got the Thor movie coming out, you've got Black Panther coming out next year, so you got DLC that you could just live off of, you know, for months and months on end. It could be the beginning of an extended universe, is what I'm hearing, to start bringing in other characters from Marvel because they want to expand their brand. And so, in the comic book guy and the video game guy, they kind of the same. They're in the same vein. They're on the same street, you know. So, but yeah, I'm excited about it. I mean, I know they're hurting on the Xbox, you know, side. And I know it's not that kind of podcast, but when that got announced as a exclusive, there were podcasts. They were just going ballistic. They couldn't believe it. And it's like, well, guys, you do know Sony owns this intellectual property. When Marvel went bankrupt, they sold Spider-Man. They sold all their A-level guys out. That's why X-Men is on which is with Fox and things like that. So, yeah, it's just one more reason if you're in this ecosystem that you should be happy that you're in this ecosystem, and hopefully it's a quality game and everybody's happy about it.
You know what I find funny? I've read it several times now from several people in chat saying those 3 games, none of those are coming out. Well, one thing I got to ask you guys, the guys saying that.
Somebody have something in the background?
Yeah. But anyway, for the guys saying that, what do you think is going to come out then? Nothing for Sony this year? Because those 3 games, I'm sorry, other than those, I haven't heard anything else that's coming out for Sony. So that's
Gran Turismo won't come out as well.
Yeah, Gran Turismo, but I don't even want to get into that.
And then Uncharted Lost Legacy is already in August.
But the thing is you got those 3 titles. I'm telling you guys, those are coming out this year. I can feel it. It'll be out this year, all 3.
God of War? Nah, I don't see
God of War this year, November.
Listen, the reason why I would say this is too much. Now you're flooding the market with too much. And I know I'm not trying to say I'm defending.
You got to put a heavy hitter against the Scorpio.
You got to have an incentive for people to really go get that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But God of War is a well-known franchise within PlayStation. To have that drop, you know what I mean, just on a competitive level, you know what I mean, to move people away from the mindset of this new console coming out for the competition, that would be huge right there. You know,
I'm not negating that would be huge. You know, I'm not negating. I'm sorry. The point I'm trying to make is this: Sony does have a competition against Scorpio. It's called a $250 Slim. That's the most popular console in the world. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at it this. Everybody's thinking that Scorpio's going to be this huge seller. It's not. I'm not saying it's not because it's a bad console. It is a great console. But the age of the tech enthusiasts, early adopters, they were already there in 2013, 2014. The majority ain't going to pay another $400 within 3 years, just for another console. Jay will. Majority of the hardcore Xbox will.
Yeah.
But you think about all the people. Think about it this way. If a person doesn't own a console yet, what's make them going to jump into the most expensive console on the market? Obviously, they don't care.
I definitely agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that they're going to really sell leaps and bounds over any other console either. I think it's going to be treated much the same as the Pro. I think in sales as well. The Pro isn't really selling like hotcakes either. So
they said 1 in 5. 1 in 5 PlayStation consoles sold are Pros. You know what I'm saying? That's not really a lot. I mean, because you can make it. Depends how you want to argue the point. Half glass full or empty. But the point I'm trying to make is the PlayStation is going to be $250 with the game already in a box. We're talking Destiny, Uncharted, Horizon Zero Dawn bundle. The Scorpio.
Don't forget the Pro is probably going to drop $50 as well.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't. It depends if the Scorpio is $399, which again I don't think it will be, but I think at that point you do have to drop it. But if it comes in at the price that people are really starting to kind of run with, I don't know if they have to drop it because of that Slim, the gold and that gold PlayStation and a silver one, it goes on sale I think on the 9th or 10th for $250. So I mean, I don't know if it comes with a game, though, but I know it goes on sale.
I think they're gonna drop the price, bro. They're gonna drop it.
Yeah, you know what's funny too? Like 1 out of 5. A lot of people look at that like, oh, that's a little difference right there. That's not as good as you would think. But you got to look at that. They saying that that's beyond their expectation, right? And you also got to look at it like this, where a Pro is $400, right? Where you can get a slim PlayStation for like $250. You know what I mean? That's a huge margin between the price differences. You know what I mean? So every 5 consoles that they sell, somebody's buying a Pro. That is good. That is more good than people expect. Looking at the number that way, people's gonna say, "Oh, that's not that good." But when you compare the price to that and all that stuff, it's not as bad as people think it is.
I mean, for the price, I do agree. You know what I'm saying? The whole point, that's the reason why I'm saying I don't think Sony needs to release God of War and then put that game in jeopardy because it's battling Battlefront, Destiny, and Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? And then whatever other AAA third-party game.
But you gotta understand, God of War is a game that can stand on its own.
Not as much as you think.
It's
every game is very popular until you put it right next to Destiny, Call of Duty, and fucking
look. God of War have sold about God of War and Gears. They lifetime sales for those games that came out. They sold about the same amount. Gears come out every holiday. That doesn't stop Microsoft from letting Gears out that holiday season. It's still going to get its sales. And you also, so I see somebody put fiscal year into it as well. Fiscal year, that's a very important aspect as well, because saying that you wanted to come out in March, you're not really going to generate that much profit because your fiscal year about to close out in April 1st.
Yeah, but look at it this way: what's there to compete with in March 2018?
Yeah, but they will also want to generate as much profit just to have to showcase that to their investors. Like, look what we did this holiday season.
But look what they've been doing the last 3 years. Bloodborne came out early in the year. Uncharted came out early in the year. You know what I'm saying? And here, Bloodborne came out early in the year. Uncharted came out early in the year. Horizon Zero Dawn came out early in the year. There's a method to the madness they're doing. There's a reason why Sony's paying for these marketing advice. They want Call of Duty to sell. Think about it. There's going to be a crap ton of third-party games out there. Something's not going to get bought. Sony is let's say Sony releases Spider-Man, God of War, and what's the other game? We're thinking fucking Days Gone. Let's say best case scenario, all 3 games releases, and let's pretend that's the majority of the games PlayStation gamers buy. Let's say those 3 games outsell the Destiny, the Call of Duty, and Battlefront. Let's pretend this imaginary bizarre world exists. That's still a failure for Sony, because Sony wants you to buy Destiny. They get a check. They want you to buy Battlefront, Star Wars 2. They get a check. They want you to buy Call of Duty. They get a check. They don't want you to be put in a position where I'm not going to buy Call of Duty because I want to buy God of War. They don't want that. They want you to buy Call of Duty, and they want you to buy God of War. They want you to buy all of it.
But you got to understand.
You got to buy all of it.
If they buy God of War, they still getting a check. But you know what? That check is more so they get to keep because that's their own game. They're not splitting that between.
But here's the thing. What you think is the better scenario? Make money off of God of War, maximize money on God of War, and maximize Call of Duty, or have God of War undercut Call of Duty?
I mean, God of War would never undercut Call of Duty, but I'm just saying.
But I'm just giving you that scenario. God, Sony wants both. They want both. They want the scenario they created with Uncharted, where they released Uncharted in the year and it dominated earlier in the year. And then later in the year, they were able to do little things like, do it as a bundle and let all the other games flourish.
Sony has been doing good with having their games released outside of the holiday season, but you can't every year you can't ignore the potential sales you can get from that season. That is where a lot of people are spending their money, and having a well-known exclusive. You know what I mean? Because they always had exclusives, but people would look at those games as more the obscure or quote-unquote niche title, you know what I mean? But having a well-known game come out for the holiday season that's a plus. That's a win-win in any situation.
I mean, your problem,
look at Uncharted
your problem this year, honestly, is not the Scorpio. Your problem this year is Star Wars Battlefront. You're really underestimating the buying power of that community and the unfortunate, untimely death of Carrie Fisher. And they've added a campaign to this game that, from what early reports from the people that are just covering this game, is outstanding. Yeah. So there's just no way I put God of War up against Star Wars Battlefront. You just don't. It's too much. And then the movie coming out at, within 6 weeks of launch. So no, it's just, again, it's not that it can't stand on its own. It can, but I agree with what both of you all were saying. Sony, to me, would maximize profits if the game comes out next year. Before Red Dead 2, what else is there? Give me a mid-February launch like you did with Horizon Zero Dawn. That game did pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm. I think if Horizon Zero Dawn would have launched in October, it would have got slaughtered. I think it would have not done what it's done. I think it would have got slaughtered. I think, I still would have bought it, but I don't think that many people, because people would have been more interested in the Battlefield than the other games. In Horizon Zero Dawn, they would be like, you know what? I'll buy it later, or I really want Battlefield. Understand? Because when Horizon Zero Dawn launched, was the last day in February? What else was there really? I mean, there was Neo. I was cool with that. So I'm saying, but there wasn't that many big AAA games. So I think more people were apt to get Horizon Dawn. I mean, it had hype, it had advertisement.
But I look at it is when you look at a game and you want to buy that game, whether you get it now or later, you're going to get it at some point regardless.
Exactly.
I don't care who you are. If there's two games that come out at the same time and you can only afford one now, you're still going to get that second game later. I do it. All my friends do it. I've seen it time and time again. So to me, it might affect initial sales for the first week, month even, but you're eventually going to pick it up anyway. I don't see where there's going to be a big issue if they did release God of War in November. Honestly, I think it would be great because it is holiday time. That is the time where parents spend more money on their kids, so they get more than one game anyway. And let's be honest, it's going to sell in November. I don't think that it wouldn't, because there's just two other games out or whatever that around that same time. I just don't see that logic.
I think it's holiday time. I think it's gonna be a lot more because you think about every year, the holidays. I mean, let's take a list, and I mentioned this before. Look at 2016, right? Let's look at January through August. There was only about 4 or 5 big name multiplats that was out there: Division, Madden, Overwatch, Doom. Now I always say 5, but I can never remember the 5th one for whatever reason. I can't remember. I know there was 5. I think that's August, January to August, 8 months. There's only 5. Does anybody else name something big? Last year, not Sony exclusive. I'm talking about multiplats. Is there any other big game that
Battlefield 1?
No, I'm talking about January through August. I'm talking about January through August. Those specific months.
This year?
No, last year. 2016. Those 8 months. I said Madden, Division, Overwatch, Doom,
NBA 2K.
NBA 2K September. Exactly. Like there's not that much. Now let's look at September, October, November. Just 3 months. Just 3 months. You had NBA 2K. You had Deus Ex, Watch Dogs 2, Mafia 3, Battlefield, Call of Duty, Titanfall 2, Final Fantasy 15. That's 8 right there. 8. And now you want to throw in Gears of War, Forza? I'm not trying to insult, but people wondering why Gears of War didn't sell. You had 8 games already in just 3 months.
Yeah, those are all heavy hitters.
That's too much for people, especially when you have big multiplayer game that everybody wants to play. Battlefield that alone takes up 2 to 3 weeks of gameplay time.
I think it'll affect initial sales, but I think in the end they buy them anyway. I think this whole flooding the marketplace it's exaggerated a bit because people.
I agree with Franz.
Well, let me ask you this: then why did Gears of War 4 not sell as well when the series traditionally do 8 to 9 million?
Because no games nowadays are selling that much anymore.
Uncharted sold more than its previous.
You also got to look at it as.
But we also have a bigger user base. We have 65 million or whatever PlayStations out there. So I get that they packed it in with the console as well.
Gears of War was a packing game.
Okay, but what you got to look at is how many people own the consoles. So Uncharted, I expected it to do better than Gears of War. For me, I look at it as if you are interested in a game, you're gonna buy it, whether it's day 1 or day 50. You're gonna end up getting it at some point. I just don't believe in this whole flooding the marketplace being like a real thing. Like I understand that it could affect initial sales, but at the end of the day, they're gonna pick it up eventually.
Okay, so how about the gamers? All right, so you're addressing the gamers that want the game. What about the gamers that kind of interested, but because there's other games, they're like, I'm gonna ignore it because I got other shit to play? What about those guys? Where like for example, like Sea of Thieves, I think Sea of Thieves would do a lot better if they launch it earlier in 2018 than they would.
Yeah, I got you, but you're talking about Sea of Thieves compared.
I'm just giving.
I'm just saying, when you look at a bigger title like God of War, now of course you can't flood the marketplace with a game that nobody knows, or a new IP. That's a rough thing to do. I can get with that. I can understand that. But when it's a God of War, it's a Gears of War, it's an Uncharted, I don't think there's an issue there. You can put them out anytime and they're going to sell well. Could they be affected initially? Sure. But it'll end up being bought. You're going to get all your sales in. Yeah,
because traditionally Uncharted came out in the holiday season. Uncharted usually come out in November. That didn't stop it from selling well on PS3.
Didn't wasn't one sold like in September or some shit? Not all of them were November.
I don't remember when 1 came out, but I remember 2 and I remember 3. Those are November dates.
Okay.
One might be different due to probably the
and again, holiday time, that is when people spend money. That's when they buy more than one game, more than 2 games.
You're right.
So I don't have an issue with putting anything out that's a big name title in November. I think it'll sell. It'll sell.
I mean, I want you to be right. I mean, you're right. I just remembered, you can go to like Best Buy or Target and they'll have buy 2, get 1 for $29 or something like that. They'll have some kind of, within that month. That's a good point. I want you to be right, Fami. Yeah, I would love to walk in the store and see a God of War or Spider-Man at that point. But I would try to stay out of the way of Star Wars Battlefront this year. There's too much coming in. Like I said, I mean, there's people who are going to buy it this year just for the campaign. Just for the campaign alone, they're going to buy it to see where it's going to add, into the universe and things like that. And that's a big title for the fight. I think that's going to be the best-selling game this year.
Okay, between late last year and early this year, you know how many games I've bought? My backlog is insane now because so much has come out. Yeah. But guess what? I bought all these games.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
The market was flooded. But
I don't disagree with you in principle, though, Fonz. I'm with you in principle, and I just think this year that's the one you want to stay away from. It's now I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I hope that Battlefront's in there. I hope that Spider-Man's in there, and God of War's in there. I that's what I want. But if I'm doing basic marketing and somebody says there's a Star Wars movie coming out and there's a game that's going to kind of piggyback into that, me personally, I get out of the way. But I do agree with you in principle what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that a new IP like Sea of Thieves, if you put that into a flooded marketplace,
like Horizon. Horizon, I was with that. Horizon got delayed. I was like, okay, that's pretty smart because that's a new IP. Gamers is finicky with Gorilla for some reason. I don't know how, but you know what I mean.
Killzone 3, man. That's what did it. Game sucked.
What happened?
Killzone 3. That's what did it, man. Game was garbage.
Oh yeah, Killzone 3 story was
fucking. It turned into Call of Duty, man. Like,
question for you guys about Sony at E3 this year, though. Do you think that they're gonna because I just did a post game report podcast a little while ago, and one guy brought up that his prediction was that at the end Sony was going to sort of announce that they're working on PS5. Do you think they'll do something like that? I don't think so.
Would it be funny as hell if they did some shit like that? Though?
That actually will hurt PlayStation more than Scorpio.
That's what I was thinking, because it makes no sense at this point because we have the PlayStation 4 is selling so well. Why would you announce a PS5?
Yes.
Yeah, he already stated that it's not going to be a typical press conference. It's going to be more of a game showcase. So I doubt they're going to be like, oh, here's new hardware for all the games that we just showed that's coming out.
What about new IPs? Anybody think there's going to be a new IP, and what do you think it might be?
Well, I think it's a safe bet for Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
I think that's a safe bet, and I think the rumor of From Software with Japan Studios, a new IP. I think that makes sense. Yeah. I think those two are good safe bets. And stuff.
I just really hoping for
VR gets a lot of new IP announced too this E3.
Yep, Craig is right. VR is going to get some stuff because they got dedicated studios. Where's that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, they also got one of the heads of Lionhead Studio, to head a lot of VR development. So yeah, Sony's taking VR serious.
I wish they wouldn't.
Y'all want a great VR experience? Go play Farpoint. That's all I gotta say, man.
Yeah.
That game outclasses a lot of these games.
I'm just bitter because I get motion sickness. I can't handle it. So I'm
man,
I'm bitter.
Take some Dramamine or some shit, man.
No, I can't do it, man.
Pop some Dramamine before you play.
Do it for the culture, man. Do it for the culture. Do
it for the nation.
Take it for the team, man. Take it for the team.
Do a live stream while everybody hears you throw up and shit.
It's kind of unfortunate to hear that From Software has a new IP coming. I mean, it's great, but at the same time, I was hoping for Bloodborne 2. Bloodborne is.
It's like a bittersweet. I know what you mean.
One of the best games I played this generation. It was really fun.
I love Bloodborne. It's like I said, it's bittersweet. Because I wanted, I love Bloodborne. I love that game, so I will go crazy for a sequel. But I'm also happy with From Software. They're willing to already put out a new IP so quick.
And I heard
when everybody else plays
out that it's not going to be a game like Souls or Bloodborne.
It's Aztec based. The rumor is it's like based on Mayan Aztec culture, and it's not weapon. It's more like melee based fighting.
Melee.
Yeah, melee. Yeah.
All right, that'll be interesting. Yeah, it would be funny, Fonz, just to kind of what you were talking about there with them announcing something. I mean, everybody's got a rough estimate. If you've seen the articles and things like that, I'm putting that in air quotes, what PS5 is going to be, but so to troll Microsoft, they could do some BS like that and, announce it 28 months in advance and talk about what it may or may not have, and then have the fanboys putting stupid symbols in their name on Twitter. That would be funny.
You know why? What's the main reason why I don't think Sony? Because I think Sony wants to use something that doesn't validate Scorpio. I think if they announce, oh, don't worry, we're in development PS5, I think that sends us a message that Microsoft did it right. And I don't think Sony wants to do that. I think Sony
it's a little too early.
Yeah.
I think maybe they might announce it end of 2018's E3 press conference, but not this year.
Yeah. And I'm not saying Microsoft's doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
I just don't think Sony wants to enhance Scorpio, if you know what I mean, by talking about more powerful hardware. I think Sony's going to try to do something complete opposite, which is a complete software festival, just a smorgasbord of games versus an E3 that is hardware, enhanced.
Yeah.
You understand? So that way they're going to let the gamers and the media battle that out.
And when you announce it, and you see what happened with the Scorpio, just announcing it a year early, all the stupid speculation, the Ryzen, the Vegas, all that stuff. Could you imagine if they announced something coming in 28 months, what it would be like? People would just go crazy.
For the record, I changed my Twitter picture to the Ryzen CPU chip. So
I'm gonna let y'all know, if Sony does that, I will not allow one talk, not one conversation about hardware on this channel. On the multiplayer podcast, that shit was driving me fucking nuts, bro. I want to blow my head off every fucking day about Vega. I was like, I wanted to put up Street Fighter and play as Ken and beat the shit out of Vega, just so I can have something to whoop it. It was oh my God, it was nauseum to the extreme, bro. I couldn't take it, and I'm like, I won't be able to do it with Sony. I'll be like, I would leave Twitter.
Okay, I'm sorry, but let me ask all you guys this. This is an E3 question, actually. Friday, basically, I think Friday or Saturday, maybe Saturday, EA Play, they're going to have a huge Star Wars event, Battlefront event, 40 on 40. Do we see that on Scorpio Pro, or is this going to be running on a PC?
That's going to be on PS4 for sure.
Sorry,
you got to understand, Sony bought out a lot of E3 space. They have a lot. It's Sony, then Nintendo, then Microsoft. I don't think they're going to be. That's why I told people in the last podcast I was in, they have a lot of third-party deals, but I think they're going to have a lot of those booths there for that stuff. And if you're saying the 20 on 20 stuff is going to be there, I think that's going to be one of those things that's going to be there, one of those booth things. I think last year for Battlefield 1, they did it on the PC, right? When they had Snoop Dogg and all that.
Yeah, they're supposed to be there for this one. Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, Dr. Dre, they're all supposed to, Kobe Bryant, they're all supposed to be at this event, allegedly, knock wood. So, but I was always interested in that because I've, it's been confirmed 4K native 60 on Scorpios. I didn't know if they would just they would show it on that, kind of showing off a little bit of everything. So, that was my question.
Would you want it to be shown on anything else? Spending that much money for a marketing deal?
Oh, me personally, no. About marketing, if I put that kind of coin out, no. That was my general question because it's I'm not for sure what they're going to show it on. So it's because on one hand, it's a way for them to show off the prowess of the Pro and or the Scorpio. And is it a hard marketing deal or is it a soft marketing deal? Because there's two different types. So they could, in theory, show it running on each console just at different points. So, that's what I didn't know. So
if it's 4K 60 native, man, I can already imagine the bullshit we're going to hear from all the fanboys on both sides. Especially, Digital Foundry is going to do a video on that game, show you the Pro version versus the Scorpio version, and tell you, well, the checkerboarding's not that bad. Actually, you can't even tell. And oh my god,
yo, matter of fact, I got a quote from our favorite PlayStation guy, Jim Ryan. 1 second.
Oh,
yeah, he was talking about the whole, third party deal aspect. So this might, I guess, probably answer your question a little bit. 1 second. My bad for being so unprepared with this.
Oh, that's fine.
So he said, in terms of third-party partnerships, Sony Interactive Entertainment European boss Jim Ryan mentioned that we have Call of Duty partnership, Destiny 2 partnership, Red Dead partnership with Take-Two, and Star Wars with EA. It's, what I mean? So him just going out saying that right before E3, I do think that you're going to see those games. Well, I don't know about Red Dead because Rockstar is a different kind of, player, but I'm pretty sure you're going to see Call of Duty, Destiny 2, and Star Wars, and it's going to be demoed with PlayStation. For it to come out like that.
For anybody who's not looked at this game on a 4K YouTube, whatever, if you're looking on regular YouTube, don't do that. Go somewhere. I don't care if you got to go to Best Buy and have them play this on their TV. It looks phenomenal. It just does. But I don't know. I just want to know what build am I going to see because I'm working Saturday, so I was like, somebody's got to tweet me and tell me what it's on. So
what game are you talking about?
Star Wars.
Yeah, they're having a big EA Play thing Saturday on it. I didn't know this was a way, like you were saying, Fonz, that if they do show it on Scorpio, the kind of BS that's going to be heralded out because it's like I said, man, you got to drop some knowledge one day on the tech talk on if there's going to be much difference at all. I mean, because I know that's right up your alley. But my understanding is there's not, even according to those guys at Digital Foundry. But
in motion, you will see a bit more motion blur with checkerboard, and that's evident even in Horizon Zero Dawn. But it's really minimal. I don't understand why people really shit on checkerboarding. I don't personally. We're going to see some of that on the Scorpio as well. I mean, it's just something that fanboys really just latch onto. That's what it comes down to, Craig.
I know. I know. That's why I'm excited. I like getting straight skinny.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this year's E3 because there's so many unknowns, guys. Like with previous years, that we've pretty much known what was coming, and like I don't know. It's just this year feels different. I don't know. Do you guys feel the same way?
It's a little bit quiet, because there's not a lot of leaks. This is like the first E3 where a lot of things haven't been leaked on almost anything. So it's almost nervous. It's just oh my god. It's like what's going on? Like what? Like there's nothing. Like there's barely anything. So what? Everyone's doing a great job. Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft of either hiding their shit or not having much to talk about. But I think they're all gonna have something to show. But they're doing a real good job of keeping it tight. I don't know how they're doing it,
bro.
If
they didn't have anything and they're just quiet because they don't have anything. Oh
man, that shit would be the worst E3 ever. Yo, gamers will flip the
Yo,
fuck out.
there's definitely a different atmosphere when it comes to two companies. You know, not to go on no fanboy jump, but this is just me observing things. Like PlayStation side, like I said, you're getting a whole bunch of announcements or games that is outside of E3, but it's still pretty big level games that, you know, people have been clamoring for. You know what I mean? And then you're hearing this thing about the days of PlayStation deals and a new console and all that stuff. And the representatives is coming out saying that we're going to keep the same format last year, and it's going to be a showcase of games for this E3 press conference. You know what I mean? Like the atmosphere and the hype is two different ways. And then on the other platform, it's more of this chip. Everybody is showing chipsets and stuff. You know what I mean? Nobody's really talking about, yo, State of Decay is going to look amazing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see that from the Xbox representatives. I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to, you know, do a fanboy war, but I'm just observing what the two companies is talking about right now.
I think we'll see some of that at this E3 for Microsoft. I think they will start stepping it up there and talking about their games and how it looks on the Scorpio now, because finally they can reveal all that. And that's what's exciting there. But even for Sony, though, it's just even Nintendo. I'll go out and say Nintendo, you know, with the possibility of a Metroid, you know, that really intrigues me. And then you look at the Bethesda and EA, you know, things that they're going to do. That's interesting as well, because there's so many games coming out this year that I'm excited for. Like CD Projekt Red has a game coming out that Cyberpunk. I can't wait to see what that looks like. Hopefully we'll get to see some of that. EA's got that game that's quote unquote the Destiny killer. So I want to see what that's like. There's just so
that Project Healing game.
It's you know what, guys, 2017 is going to go down as one of the best years for gaming, no matter what platform you're on. I really do think this has just been a fantastic ride so far this year.
Okay. So moving on to the next thing. Days Gone. They showed they actually showed gameplay last year. So you know, from the, you know, it was the first time it was announced, and they ended a show with a pretty long demo of it. You know, pretty long demo thing. So this game might be coming far along. So let me ask you this: what do you think about Days Gone being a big IP on Sony's up? You know, what are your expectations? What you know? So supposedly it's open world. What do you guys think about that game? Like, what are you expecting? What would you think would make it a big hit? Anybody?
I actually have low expectations for this game.
Yeah.
And that's
so. Let's talk about that. Well, yeah, go ahead. All right. So
I think this game, to me anyway, when I first saw it, at first it started off sort of like a Naughty Dog game, you know, where you think there's something compelling story that's going to happen here, and then all of a sudden you see all the zombies and everything, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, is this like Dead Rising? Because I cannot stand Dead Rising. I think that franchise is just horrible. I'm sorry for people who like it. It's mindless, and I know it's fun to some people to just kill all these zombies and in different ways and stuff. But to me, just wave after wave of zombie is just not fun to me. I need something there that compels me to play the game, whether it be story, whether it be actual gameplay that is unique. And I don't see any of that so far from Days Gone. And that's not to say this game is going to be bad for sure. It's just skepticism again. I have to be a bit skeptical because this generation, what have we seen? Unfinished, broken, unfun games being released. I have to be skeptical. I have to be. So
now, do you think Sony's might head this game? I'm hearing myself. Do you think this game will be story narrative based also? You think Sony with Sony
I hope
Ben
so.
Going to work it to be a good
I
story?
hope so.
Like,
If they can work,
you're right. I would say you are right.
Story into it, man. If they could work a great story into it, then yeah, I'm there day one. But if it doesn't look like that's going to happen, and this looks more of like a lot of people were saying an adult version of Dead Rising, no thanks. I'll pass.
Yeah, because I don't like the Dead Rising franchise much either. Like I said, I don't know. It just didn't sit with me and stuff like that. So, yo, Bart, what do you think about Days Gone? What do you think the potential?
I do think Days Gone have that's the developers themselves, Sony Ben. They have a lot to prove on the people. They are like a kind of like a dormant kind of studio. You know what I mean? The game to me look impressive as far as what they are, setting out to do. all them zombies on the screen and all that stuff. But it's something that we've seen before. So the story aspect is definitely going to have to be like phenomenal to really like sell people on the game. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people always is comparing it quick to Last of Us or Dead Rising. I don't really see too much of the Dead Rising because Dead Rising is a little bit more comical, where this looks like a little bit more, serious. But I do see like probably like the aimless killing aspect. I can see the Dead Rising, comparison to that. But I agree. They do have a lot to prove with the studio, and hopefully the game is just good. Hopefully it's a very compelling game for a lot of people.
Interesting. All right.
I agree with Fonz. I've got medium expectations. If the zombies move, me and my girlfriend, we just watched that World War Z the other day. So the zombies move like that, that will be somewhat challenging and, give me a strong story. But yeah, if it's just going to be me running around and the zombie franchise kind of made a comeback, guys, with, Dying Light coming out. And, and this time it's a little more, they can make Days Gone a little more tactical. That's fine. I don't know how that would work. I'm more interested in Detroit Become Human. I think that's a sleeper. I hope it shows up at the conference. I'm hearing that it's not there, that I'm hearing that it may it may pop in. Yeah. So that's the game that I just think, I just hope we see some more gameplay of that, because I think they showed some of that at E3 last year. It was maybe a 2 or 3 minute clip, but that's the game I'm more interested in this year. That and Hellblade, just seeing that trailer and seeing the
reason why I think they're not going to show Detroit, because they announced that saying that's a 2018 game. But you never know, you might see more of it. But I think with that E3 trailer that they shown, you get a good synopsis of what that game is about already. You know what I mean? I feel like, for me personally, I don't really think they need to show any more of that. But you never know, they might do it.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, it depends if they're trying to show off games, because there's only so many games they could show in one sitting. But one thing though, I know recently, this is Detroit Become Human from Quantic Dream. Heavy Rain ended up selling 4.5 million total, and that's impressive for that type of genre in game. I didn't think it was gonna push those numbers. That's pretty impressive, and I actually love those games. I like Beyond Two Souls. I like Detroit Being Human. I enjoyed Until Dawn. I just love those like story type narrative games and shit like that. I mean, it's different. I know some people don't like it because it doesn't have a lot of true gameplay, as what they quote unquote they like to call it. I just like interacting with these type of narrative type games, and I enjoy it.
I would lose my shit if there's like another like Until Dawn type game, which is it's probably not going to happen. But if they do something like Until Dawn like 2 or something, I'll lose my shit, bro.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Until Dawn overperformed. I mean, they did not market that game really at all, and it sold much better than Sony anticipated.
Yeah. Even Yoshida said he was amazed how the game said, and they would have invested more in advertising if they knew it was going to be this popular. Even they were surprised that, damn, this game really took off.
Yeah, I'm ashamed to say
it turned into a. Oh, go ahead, Fonz. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead, brother.
I didn't buy Until Dawn. I never played it.
Oh man, you like Heavy Rain and stuff?
Yeah, like I did like.
Oh, you're gonna love this game. Oh, you're gonna love it, and it's cheap now.
It turned into college, it turned into one of those games that college kids were staying up all night trying to play and stuff. Like they would have drinking parties and who's gonna die. I mean, it literally turned into that. So yeah, I know it overperformed, but with that said, what was the game with the werewolves that people mocked that I enjoyed it? Now hell, I can't remember the name.
The Order.
Yeah, The Order. Yeah, that underperformed. That came in way under. So it kind of they got a little bit of everything. I hope they announce a sequel to The Order. I got my fingers crossed.
I would love that too, man.
So just for me to kind of have a sweaty moment, it'd be like, whoa, they're gonna bring, because like you guys said earlier, Sony does not give up on IP. So hopefully this is one that they at least give it another shot. So I got my fingers crossed for that too. But like Fonz said, we just don't know, and that's why I've said to people before, this week and next week I put my sticks down. I just become a big big fan of the games on all consoles. I just want to be re-energized because I want my hobby to keep getting infused with more games. So just bring me the games. Let me decide if I want them as a consumer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So what else? So let me talk about dark subject. I know some people were some disappointed. What's up with Gran Turismo Sport? Like, I actually don't follow that franchise. Y'all know how I feel about racing games. I think it's like going to the dentist and hyping. It's like hyping a visit to the dentist. I don't see why people buy racing games every year just to drive the same 1986 Grand National on the same Nuremberg track. But hey, that's whatever you guys enjoy.
Well, back in the day on PlayStation 2, I remember playing the hell out of Gran Turismo because back then that's like when you could, you would be able to tweak the cars and sort of make it your own. And I loved getting involved in that. I had a racing wheel and stuff, and I had fun. I had a blast with Gran Turismo. And then I kind of got away from racing games in general for so many years. And then I tried to get into Forza, and then I just didn't care for, the game too much. Nothing against Forza, but Forza Horizon 3 has been fantastic. And that game is just on another level. But this GT Sport, after coming from Forza Horizon 3, playing that recently, and then seeing the abomination that is GT Sport and what it looks like now, it brings me back to the PS2 games of me sitting in front of a 36-inch tube television playing with my racing wheel. It doesn't look... The lighting, the dynamic lighting and everything is great. The tracks look photorealistic. The cars look like they're skating on ice, and the car models don't look much better than PS3. It's just, to me, my mind is blown. Where are they going with this franchise? I don't know.
JayBari, you might be no more into this because I'm the last person that could talk about this franchise or this game.
Oh yeah, man.
What's going on?
I honestly just tell you guys that I don't see where everybody's saying the game looks bad. I don't get where everybody keeps saying that. I know people that's in the beta, and I've seen the gameplay. I've seen the game. That game looks amazing. Look at that game on a 4K TV. Running at 60 frames a second.
I can't agree with that, man. I can't.
I'm just telling you, for somebody that's seen the game, it looks amazing. And you also understand the game is, and that was a time where the game wasn't even like fully released. Like the beta, it was like early beta stuff. You know what I mean? So you never know how it is going to look.
You think the gameplay where the cars are sort of sliding on the track, it looks like almost like the track underneath them is moving rather than the car. You think that looks amazing?
No, Gran Turismo is a pure simulating game. You know what I mean? It's like I said, to me, I don't see that aspect of it. The car looking like it's sliding. I don't see that. I heard a lot of people say that on Weapon Wheel and other podcasts. And I'm like, huh? You know what I mean? Are they looking at this game? You know what I mean? I'm having conversations.
That's what I see, honestly, man. When I looked at that I watched the 17-minute beta thing that had come out of the gameplay, and to me, the whole time I just kept shaking my head, going, "This has got to be fake. This has got to be a joke." Seriously, that's how bad it looked to me. Like I said, the lighting and the track itself look fine. It's the car models and the way they interact with the track that doesn't look fine. It looks outdated, to say the least.
Mm.
Wow.
I don't know. I can't really speak on this subject because I don't play racers. And
Well, I'm gonna buy it. I'm buying it. I don't know if I'll be a day one guy. I just need to know if the cars. I mean, I've always liked Gran Turismo. I've loved the music with Gran Turismo, but if the cars don't take damage and then physically drive differently,
they don't. They don't take damage.
Oh, that I don't like that. I can tell you that right now.
They don't take serious, like you're not gonna see like crazy damage. The only reason why that's done because of licensing reasons. Like a lot of people, they don't want their cars, looking
I
like
that. But I'd be like, look, we gotta damage your car. It's okay. It's a game. But I mean, I understand it's a simulator. They do have schools in Europe to teach you how to drive these tracks. They have big, huge international tournaments. They'll send people from different countries to these tournaments for Gran Turismo, but that's disappointing. So that, like I said, I'll buy the game, but I'm thinking that'll be the my Black Friday buy where you buy 2 get 1 for half or something like that. That'll be my half, get 1 for half, and that's cool. I can suck it up at that point.
Let me ask you this,
Craig. You've seen the beta gameplay though, right?
Yeah.
What'd you think about it, honestly?
I mean, as far as it looked like it was playing okay. I watched, you talking about the Digital Foundry thing they did, or the actual? I watched the actual. Yeah, Digital Foundry did a big thing on it, and they said it was okay. It was 1800 checkerboarded up, and it was running 60. It had a few frame drops here and there, but it's a console. With that said, as far as for me, the most disappointing thing is that the cars don't take a lot of damage, because to me, if you're gonna be the definitive simulator, that's part of racing. Is your car will take damage.
You didn't see the odd movement though, the animation, kind of.
Not on the Digital Foundry one. They were going inside out of the car. They were going up to the people around the track, saying that they're fully 3D model, whatever you want to call it. Now, as far as the way it's physically playing, it's hard to tell on YouTube, period. I mean, that's with anything. But like I said, I'll probably get it, and it'll just be my,
if you see that beta gameplay running and then watch a Forza video after that, you'll see what I'm talking about. It just looks like
Jay, let me ask you a question, JayBari. This is JayBari. Okay. In your opinion, between Forza and just on the development aspect, from the physics to the driving to all that shit, who do you think is better? Is it Gran Turismo at this point, or is it? Or did
I don't play Forza games, but I can just go off of what I play with Gran Turismo and the legacy of Gran Turismo. Forza probably have done a lot of great things. They do come out with a lot more games than Gran Turismo as far as like development process wise. But when it comes to simulating and physics and all that stuff, you gotta look at Gran Turismo as this. Like, Gran Turismo is being used. People can get their license by playing Gran Turismo. You don't do that in Forza. People are Gran Turismo Sport right here. It's licensed by what's it called? FIFA? Is it FIA? Something like that. It's like a racing league kind of thing for esports and all that stuff. You're not seeing that with Forza. There's a reason why Gran Turismo is doing these things, because when it comes to simulation racing, it is the king of simulation racing. Yeah. But I don't play Forza, so I can't really say which one is better.
The reason why you don't see that licensing is because Forza's not paying for it. That's why.
Yeah, but Forza, for me, I take away the whole simulation aspect when I see Forza, because matter of fact, I did play the little demo of it on Xbox, but it had like a rewind mode. I was like, it's not simulation.
They've got their own thing going on, of course. And here's the thing: I don't hate Gran Turismo. Matter of fact, like I said in the beginning, I loved the franchise on the PlayStation 2 days. This looks so dated that I could have sworn I saw a 1995 Honda Civic in the beta. That's how old it is to me.
If they can put my old 1984 raggedy ass Chevette in there for either one, Forza or on the Hot Wheel track or something like that, that's a vibe. But I agree with you, Jay.
I'm just looking at it from that perspective. I haven't played it yet, so I don't know if it's garbage. I'm not saying it's garbage. I'm just saying from the look of it, in my eyes, it doesn't look good.
I'll tell you this: by seeing the game in person, that's when I pre-ordered the game, Gran Turismo Sport. I didn't pre-order until I actually seen it.
Wow. Well, see, I agree with the legacy, and I'll just tell anybody out there, and they can get mad at me. If it wasn't for Gran Turismo, Forza wouldn't exist, because Gran Turismo put them all out of business. That's Project Gotham Racing. They put Ridge Racer. I mean, these were popular driving games, back in the day. Gran Turismo shut everybody down, and they were kicking butt, and Microsoft was like, we got to get something to compete with that. So I agree with you, Jay, as far as the legacy. But if you're going to call yourself a simulator, then and your cars aren't taking a lot of damage, and that doesn't change the way you drive physically, that's disappointing. With that said, I will still probably go out and buy the game. I just don't. It won't be a day one buy.
All right. That's okay. So now that we wasted 10 minutes of my life on this crappy topic,
Nothing to take away from
Brought it up,
14.
I don't even know why.
Force is doing great things over
Fuck
there.
did I bring this shit up?
Some guy
Oh,
works
shit.
at Microsoft.
What the hell?
I know Force is doing great things over there. Nothing to take from that. But
Well,
I'm just saying,
that Hot Wheels look dope. I gotta admit that look
yeah, but the reason why I brought it up, because I know a lot of people like to compare the two, and I see people talking about how the physics are better than Gran Turismo and all. I just don't see that. You know what I mean? Especially how Gran Turismo is being used as a simulation game. Like I don't see it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying, though. Yeah, I feel you.
All right. So when we already about the hour and 40-minute mark, is there any big things you want to talk about that we haven't covered already? Because I don't want to keep everybody here all day in the audience and stuff like that. Is there anything else to close out for E3? All right, let's do. In fact, let's do this one. Do one big prediction. We'll end off the show with what you think is going to be the big, the big surprise, the big prediction, something that's really going to have people talk about from the Sony E3. All right, we're going to start out with Craig. You think Sony's going to pull something out, and what do you think it is that's going to make people like, holy shit? What's the holy shit?
I've got my fingers crossed for Siphon Filter.
So
shit. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I probably won't happen, but if you just want something where I'll just turn into a giant ball of sweat at that point. That game comes back out, and I know people hated on Siphon Filter 3, and it was not that good. It was a letdown. But Siphon Filter 2, come on, guys, that's the first game where you can use a taser and turn somebody into a crispy fry. So that's my big prediction. Where I'll just turn into a sweat ball. So
okay, all right. So Jay, what you think? What you think come on, JayBari, what you think?
Like I've been saying in the beginning, for a very long time, I do think that we're going to see some sort of SOCOM comeback. I know a lot of people would disagree. A lot of people like, yo, JayBari, you are a nut.
Keep hope alive, bro. Keep hope alive.
You are a nut. So, but yo, like I said, the community wants that game, man. Like I just don't see Sony just ignoring something like that.
Yeah, all 10 of them.
It will crash. You know what I mean? But I don't know who's going to develop it. That isn't, a question. But here's another one though. I would like to see a Resistance come back as well. I need my Resistance in my life. Yo. Have another shooter other than like Killzone. I need that Resistance. Well, who would develop that as well? I don't know.
All right, cool. All right, hey Craig, what's going on, man? I mean, Jay Ponzarelli, my boy, what's going on?
I'll just say one thing. I don't know. I'm not an insider. I don't know people. I don't have inside sources like some others here on YouTube. But I will say that I think Sony is going to announce that God of War will be releasing November this year.
Oh, so that's your big thing?
That's my big thing.
All right. Okay. That's cool.
As for games, I can't come up with anything. I don't have any inside sources. I don't know.
It's just a feeling.
But I do feel that they're going to announce that God of War will be out this year.
Okay. That's cool. That's a cool prediction. I'm going to go big on this one, all right? I'm going to go big on this prediction, right? All right. Of course, no inside sources. I'm not saying I know people that know people who went to somebody in college or any crap like that. It's just something. So this is my big prediction. It's going to happen at the end of the show. You know what I'm saying? They're going to go. They're going to say, thank you for attending Sony E3, whatever. But we got one more thing to show before we go. But after this, you all take care. Have a great night, whatever, right? So the room goes dark. Then all of a sudden, the curtains open. Then all of a sudden, you see Rockstar. Then all of a sudden, you see like a city and cars driving. Then all of a sudden, a guy sneaking up and he assassinates somebody. And then it says the agent.
Oh, no.
That's my prediction. They're going to show a quick teaser trailer of the agent to finish off the show. Rockstar. PlayStation 4 exclusive.
Hold on. This guy, Porter Rock, laughed at me when I said SOCOM. But he said the agent.
Well,
you heard it. If it happens, you better give me props. You better.
If it happens, bro, I'll make a video like all praise. All praise to Porter, right? If that happened, but that would be crazy, man.
Everybody in the channel's like pipe dream. But I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna stick to it. I'm calling it the agent. All right, people. Hey. Oh man, yeah, that's my crazy prediction. The agent. You heard it here first. All right. Straight out the 60 frames no lag podcast. All right. But anyway, we're all about to wrap this up. This was the part 2 of the Sony E3 hype blowout. We're gonna go through the cast to say our shout outs, you know what I'm saying? So we'll start out with our guest, JayBari.
Yeah, man. Thanks again for having me on here. Definitely appreciate 60 frames, no lag. You know, I'm a little crazy, so don't mind me. You know, I can have a little difference of opinion sometimes, but it's all good fun, man. You know, a little contrast in there. But yo, big shout out to all the council members. You know what I mean? Definitely appreciate it for all the support those guys show, and anybody that shows support to the channel. You know, the whole PlayStation Nation out here. Big shout out to you guys. Porter Rock, Fonzarelli, Craig. You know, big shout out to you guys as well, man. Definitely a pleasure. You know, wrapping it up with you guys. But yeah, man, look forward to a lot of E3 content coming up. And yeah, E3 this year for all companies. I'm gonna be a gamer, guys. I'm gonna be a gamer. It's gonna be a movie.
That's also, yeah, shout out to the console podcast, Mr. Official. Right, Punk Girl. Everybody else. Oh my God, I can't hear myself. What is going on? Yo, all right, and now we're gonna go to the panel members. You know, Jay Fonzarelli. What's going on, Jay?
Hey, man, it's great to be on the 60 Frames No Lag podcast as usual. And I had a great time talking about E3, Sony, and everything. And the stuff I've been saying about these games coming out this year, man, people need to just relax because they're like, hell no, it's not coming out. You're full of shit. You're silly. It's ridiculous. You know what? It's just games, people. Calm down.
It's that Jay. The fact is, we're broke, right? So we can't afford all those games.
That's true. That's true.
We're broke. That's all. We don't want to say it, but that's the truth. We broke, Jay. We're broke.
Yeah, I really do think these games are coming out, especially Days Gone and Spider-Man. I think those will be out this year. As for God of War, I think that's going to be announced that it'll be coming in November. A boy can dream. Okay.
Hey, it's a win-win for everybody. If it does come out this year, then oh my Lord. Like it would just be an amazing time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's been awesome talking with you guys, man. JayBari, great to be with you on here again. Craig, Porter Rock, thanks for always inviting. And it's awesome. It's 2017. It's a great time to be a gamer, guys.
Definitely. All right. So Craig, come on, Craig. What's going on? Top flight security of the world.
Well, Porter Rock, man, thanks for the vine. Really enjoyed it. Shout out to the people in the chat there. Shout out to All Day, spending time with his family. I understand that. Missed you, but I understand family comes first. Just like I said, guys, it's just a great time to be a gamer. I don't get caught up in the what the games are looking like, and I'm all about just playing. And like I said before, I put my sticks down and I just get caught up in what's happening. And that's what I'm going to do this week and this weekend. And I'm going to enjoy watching all the press conferences. I'm even going to watch the PC press conference because I'm trying to build a PC. So I'm excited about it all. And, Jay Fonz and, Porter Rock and JayBari, I do appreciate it. Love being here. Love being able to add to what you're doing, Porter Rock. And thanks for having me.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you all, gentlemen, for attending the podcast. Enjoy the content and conversation. Thank you all subscribers for spending the time with us and hanging out, chilling. The comment section was live and stuff. Great conversations in there. And I appreciate everybody. For those who are listening, that they get a chance to hear it. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Like the video, subscribe, the same old. But anyway, my next podcast, I'll be on a 3-week hiatus because I'll be working, I'll be on the road working and stuff like that. So I'll do probably a live podcast on Sunday during the Microsoft press conference, but then after that, duty calls and stuff. So I'll be out, but I'll be back in July. You know what I'm saying? I'll give my belated post opinions on the E3 press conference. But anyway, thank you for rocking out with us. You know what I'm saying? This is your boy Porter Rock 77, and we are out. We just shut down another episode of 60 Frames No Lag podcast. All right. Take care, people. Peace.